Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Megz Moviez. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video, so let's get into it. Okay, so a brand new year, which means a brand new Megz Moviez weekly watches, and this time I'm planning to stick to it. So if you haven't watched the series before, I've done it a bit on and off in the past, but basically I just let you guys know what I watched throughout the week. If you'd like to see what I'm watching day by day, then go and follow me on Letterboxd. I've put my username in the description down below for you to go and check out. So yeah, I've watched 10 films this week. It was just going to be 9, but then I thought I need to make it 10. I need to make it even. Can't have it at just 9, so it is now 10. Any that I've done reviews for on the channel, I will just literally show you the film, but you guys can go and watch the review on my channel for it. So things like my subscriber mail reviews, or my original versus remake, or for example, if I'm reviewing the Disney films, then I'll just quickly pop it up. So yeah, so let's get into it. So these are the movies that I watched in the first week of January. And only one of these is actually a brand new watch. So this is going to be fun. So the first film I watched this year, I don't know why, I was in the mood for it. ScoobyDoo, the live action ScoobyDoo. Don't ask me why, but I was just in the mood for a bit of ScoobyDoo. And you know what? I'm glad I rewatched this. I've watched this a few times over the past couple of years. Because this is a childhood favourite of mine. I do enjoy the live action films. Absolutely fun cast. I think they picked perfectly for the characters. They, honestly, such good casting. And it's very rare for a movie like this where it's a group of characters that are perfectly cast. And this is definitely one of them. Especially Matthew Lillard. The fact that he now plays Shaggy in pretty much most of the animated films we got now is saying something. But yeah, this is an absolute childhood favourite of mine. I always return to this when I'm feeling down, or if I want a good laugh, or just when I'm in a Scooby-Doo mood. This is one of my go-to films. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend you do, because it is a fun, cheesy film. The CGI is not all that great now. It's a little bit dated. But it is okay. It's decent for what it was. And yeah, rewatching this unlocked childhood memories, to which at that point I then had to watch the sequel, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. And I'm not going to lie, I do prefer this one a bit more than the first one, just for the simple fact of, with this, it feels like it ties more into the show, because obviously it has villains from the show that we've seen and that we all know. It's also a bit more funny in this one. The first one was a bit serious. It had comedy in it, but it was a bit more serious in the vein of the plot, basically. But this one feels more Scooby-Doo-ish, as weird as that sounds. But both are really good films. This is hilarious. There's some funny scenes in this, some quotable lines from this film. And I remember growing up, after watching these two live action films, I wanted to be like Daphne. I don't know why. I'm not a girly girl, you know. I do care about my appearance and things like that, but I'm not exactly like, oh, makeup, nails, you know, all that. But yet, growing up, I wanted to be like Daphne. I don't know why, but she was such a memorable character. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, great in both roles. I like the fact that Daphne was a bit more kick-ass in this film. She did have some kick-ass moments in the first one, but I feel like the scene with the knight was her most badass. But yeah, so both films are absolutely enjoyable and unlocked some childhood memories. And then the next film I watched was the first 4K watch of the year, because I'm going to try and finally watch my 4Ks. And that is Free Guy. So this is the film starring Ryan Reynolds. It's basically about a made up video game, but Guy, literally that is his name, Guy, turns out to be an AI. He's come to life. He's not like one of the NPC characters. And he follows this girl around. And then obviously in the real world, we're trying to, basically this main girl is trying to win this case because this game developer, Taika Waititi, took the game and installed her code, but she's trying to win it back. So it flits between real life and video game, which I think is honestly pretty cool. Some of the effects they had in this film, especially in the game world, looked really good. Some really funny scenes in this film. I remember watching this in the cinema and thinking this is absolutely brilliant, and it still is. I still get some great entertainment value from this. Anytime I need a good laugh, like a proper good laugh, this is one I go to, and it's one I recommend everybody to watch. It is a fun film. If you like your video games, if you like Ryan Reynolds, if you want a good laugh, seriously, watch this film. Absolutely amazing, fun, enjoyable. I'd love a sequel, but also at the same time, I think this is a brilliant standalone film. But yeah, honestly, and especially the scene with Dude is hilarious. But honestly, Free Guy, if you have not watched it, seriously recommend you do. Okay, next one I'm just going to show, and that is The Adjustment Bureau. I have done a full-on review for this film, so do go and check that out on my channel. But all I'll say is, I was surprised by the plot, and it was a decent film. I'm not going to say any more than that. Okay, and then the next film I watched was Horton Hears a Who. I'm currently working on my Blue Sky Studios ranking, and I was in the mood for a Jim Carrey film as well, so I went, you know what, Jim Carrey, I watched this as the first movie as part of my Blue Sky Studios ranking. I'm going to try and get it done before my Illumination ranking, because we've got Migration coming out in February, so I want to make sure I get this done before that one. But Horton Hears a Who, Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, there's a lot of fun characters in this. It's based on a Dr. Seuss book. I know we haven't got many Dr. Seuss films now because obviously the rights and everything. But I will say my enjoyment of this has dwindled a little bit, and I think it's because maybe I watched it too many times. I used to put it on before I went to bed, every so often. Just have it as like background noise. So I think now it's become one of those films where it's like, I enjoy it. It is a Jim Carrey film. Not one of his best, but at the same time, not one of his worst. I still get a bit of funny moments out of it, but at the same time, I think because I did put it on too many times in the background, I think I've sort of made it a background thing now, because even when I was watching it, I kept looking at my phone. So it's one of those films that it's a cute little film, but not one of Jim Carrey's that I would go to that often. Okay, and the next one I'll just quickly show you, and that is Peter Pan, because obviously I'm doing my Disney classic reviews at the moment. So I have done a review for that, so go and check that out. Plus also I did an original versus remake this week for it. All I'm going to say is, it is a Disney classic, but it's not one of my go-to Disney films. But my sister absolutely loves this film. This is one of her favourites. So yeah, I watched this. The next one I don't actually physically own because it is only on streaming, and that is Peter Pan and Wendy. Now, I did give my thoughts on this in my original versus remake video. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly say that it's one of the... It's an okay Disney live action remake that we've got, but at the same time, it doesn't feel as magical as what the original film does in the sense of Neverland itself. You'll understand if you've watched the film, but I just mean as in like the bright colours aren't there and things like that. So it feels a bit dull compared to the original, but I also like how they added some new things to it. I won't say any more than that because, like I said, I have done a review for it kind of in my original versus remake, so if you want to see my full thoughts, go and check that out. Sorry if the angle's changed a little bit. I'm actually currently cooking my lunch, so I'm having to pause, record. So yeah, so the next film I watched, I don't know why, but I come up to my room and I was trying to think, what movie do I want to watch now? Because this year, one of my goals is to actually watch the films that I feel like watching, instead of forcing myself to watch films that I need to watch. So when I was looking through my things, I was like, haven't watched this for a while. I feel like watching it. And that is The Duff. Very odd teen film. If you haven't watched it, it is a bit cringy in a sense. But basically The Duff is about this teenage girl who learns about this whole new term for a friend that's not as hot as the other friends. So basically the Duff stands for the designated ugly fat friend. That side of the plot I don't like. I'm not a massive fan of that, especially when the words ugly and fat are used in the term. Obviously, it's a teen movie. You are going to get those tropes, unfortunately. So I weren't a fan of what the plot is, but it is a funny film. It is hilarious. It's got Robbie Amell in it. I like him. Bella Thorne, she did a great job. But yeah, it's one of those films that's about judging people a little bit, and I don't like that. Obviously, near the end, it changes, but it's still funny for what it is. It is a fun film, like in the sense of it is hilarious. But at the same time, because of the plot, I feel like it takes it away just that little bit. So I do enjoy it. I do have a good laugh with this. But it is one of those films that's... It's got its cringy moments, and I'd only recommend it to people that like cringy films or that like teen movies, like girly movies. They're the ones I'd recommend it to. But yeah, so aside from the duff part of it, it is a pretty decent film. And then to finish it off, the last two films I watched yesterday were Mamma Mia. Yes, I watched Mamma Mia. Me and my mum had been watching the live show that had been going on to cast the new Sky and Sophie for the year for the Broadway show. And that really got me thinking, I haven't watched the Mamma Mia films in ages. And I don't know why, but this is one of those films that I go to when I feel like I need a pick-me-up. Like, this is a pick-me-up film, because you know you're going to have a good laugh with this. The music's fun. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a massive ABBA fan. I only really know ABBA from this. But the songs are fun and enjoyable. The characters are fun and enjoyable. I love the fact it's about three dads. Absolutely hilarious. But yeah, this is a decent film. This is one of those ones, like I said, it's a pick-me-up. I was feeling a bit down, and I was like, you know what, I haven't watched Mamma Mia in a while. I was like, and watching the TV show made me want to watch the film, so I was like, you know what, I'm putting it on, I need to pick me up, I have a good laugh with this. I think all the actors in this are absolutely great, and yeah, if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend you do, especially if you're a musical lover. And then, of course, I was then in the mood to watch Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, and not gonna lie, I actually prefer this one a little bit more than the first one. Both are enjoyable, but it's just that little bit more that I enjoy of this one. I'm not a massive fan of what they did with Donna's character. I get why they did it, because obviously you need to think of how you're going to do a sequel to Mamma Mia. So I'm glad we got like Donna's backstory and things like that, and how she met Harry, Bill, and I can't remember his other name now. But I like how we got to see how she met the three dads, how she came to the island, things like that. But what takes it away from me a little bit is the fact of what they've done with Donna's character. There's an emotional scene near the end, which always makes me tear up. But it is still a fun film. Also, they do repeat a couple of the songs, which it does take away a little bit from it, because it's just like some of the songs are not brand new, but like different ABBA songs, but then some of them are repeats a little bit, which is fine. Obviously, when you're doing a film like this, you're not going to get to use every single song and things like that, but it is still a pretty good film. I mean, the actors that they picked to play the younger versions of Donna and her past friends and the three dads, you know, I think they did good casting on those, especially with Lily James as Donna. I think she did an amazing job. But yeah, so Mamma Mia 2 was the last film of the week, and you know what? It's a good way to end the week. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. The next video that's going up on my channel today is The Birdman. So I have technically watched this today, but it's going to go on to next week's Megz Moviez Weekly Watches. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And also leave me your comments and thoughts on the movies that I watched this week. Is there any you enjoyed, any you didn't? Is there any you'd recommend? And also let me know if there's any that you watched that you absolutely enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time.